I said Mr. P had retired. I hadn't picked any up of the new Tesco beers, but a couple have got the better of my interest. Well, this is one of them. It's from Vocation. It's supposed to be westward leaning. Let's see what it's like. It's Incognito here on Scott Reviews Things. Hello again and welcome back to Scott Reviews Things. Hope you're all keeping really well. Yeah, Tesco's have dropped north of 20 new beers into their craft beer range, into their supermarkets. Probably the biggest drop they've done in a good couple of years now. And there's some interesting stuff in there. So big double IPAs, there's a Saison, there's all sorts. There's generally a little bit more interesting beers than they've done for a while. They've got some Buxton beers, they've got some Tiny Rebel, they've obviously brought a new Brewdog in, they've got Vocation, they've got the Northern Monk stuff, so they've got the Brooklyn Brewery stuff, so there's a little bit of variation and there's possibly something for everybody. I haven't rushed out to buy these. My days of chasing beer, running around like a lunatic, trying to beat Simon to them, that's a long distant memory these days, and become quite a joke between myself and Simon, actually. We get on very well. Couldn't get some more tits. We get on very well these days. So yeah, I've picked one up and it's the Vocation's Incognito Double IPA. So double IPA, if you can hear the dogs, I do apologise. Double IPA heavy, this drop, which I think it's quite exciting, where they haven't just done hazy and all that rubbish. I say rubbish, but we're all a bit tired of the generic supermarket hazy New England style beer. So this one interested me. It's from Vocation. Vocation got very good pedigree in the supermarkets. First beer and first video that I ever did on this channel with Wanda was Vocation's Life and Death. Love and hate, still a fantastic beer. I think Life and Death changed ever so slightly over the years, but that's a different matter completely. This one's a double IPA. I like the can art. It's called Incognito. It was about £3.75, £4, I think. I can't remember which one it was. I like the can art. I think that looks okay. Said on the side, I should have brought my glasses, I haven't. A bold and complex double IPA, just waiting to be discovered. A combination of Cascade, Centennial and Chinook. So the three glorious C's of the hop variety, which should give it a nice westward leaning feel. And Galaxy deliver an unmistakable hit of zesty citrus with underlying whispers of tropical fruits and resinous pine. Now, I bemoaned the fact that we don't have a lot of West Coast, and someone pointed out, a couple of people pointed out, this one is a Westie, and it's a double Westie. It's 8, is it 6? Oh, it's not. So it's not a double IPA, it's 7.6% ABV. So let's get that out of the way straight away. It's not a double IPA. It's sub double, but we're not going to bemoan too much. We're not going to lose our shit just for the sake of 0.4%. Hebden, obviously brewed at Hebden Bridge, I'm assuming. I can't read any of that. 7.6 ABV, 440. It was about £3.75. I like it. I like the can art. Let's hope we like the beer. Let's see what it's like. I haven't seen any reviews. I don't know if anybody's done it. I don't tend to watch many beer reviews these days anyway. Right, we'll get some out and then we'll get the rest out in a minute once we've had a look at the beer. So losing a little bit of light, so it's not as bright as it could be, and that looks, for all intents and purposes, marmalade in a glass, really. amber coloured, copper coloured really. One finger white head. Carbonation looks busy. Looks like a busy beer. Let's go for the aroma. Beer sniffing matters. Let's see what we get. Looks good. I'm going to say it looks good in the glass. And it smells good. It smells good in the glass. There is a dank, pithy, grapefruity, definite orange marmalade, pine. Smells nice. It does smell really nice. It's not jumping. It's not jumping out, which I actually quite like in a West Coast, because you're then going in and slightly blind, thinking, what's it going to do with us? Vocation Incognito, new into Tesco. Cheers. Interesting. Read somewhere, I thought it might have been in the Hopper's review actually, 3 sips before you make any comment. I'll tell you what, that ain't bad. Unless you don't like a West Coast IPA. In which case, you're absolutely fucked. I'm trying to get out as much of that as I can, to be fair. Nice head, look at that. Fantastic. Lovely carbonation. Mouthfeel. Quite weighty, got a nice weight to that mouthfeel. Although it looks aggressively carbonated, it isn't. It's quite soft in the mouth, but what it's got is it's got a real punch. It's got a real zesty, pithy punch. There's a nice bitterness right at the back end, and that resinous, sappy pine in there as well. 7.6%. You get a hint. You get a hint of that 7.6%, and I don't mind that. I think that's good. Huge orange marmalade. If you don't like marmalade, you're not going to like that at all. Zesty, pithy grapefruit. There's a nice maltiness, so you get that sweetness, which balances it out. It's got a very good balance to that beer. And then you're met on the end by that not obtrusive pine. Nice bitterness sits in your back of your palate. That's a very good, very decent, not double, but it's a very decent West Coast IPA. Although they're not calling it a West Coast IPA, they're calling it a double IPA, which is wrong. It's not. What it is a very drinkable, well-made, supermarket West Coast IPA, and I think that's very, very good. And it does something completely different. I do wonder though, if we're scared. Are we scared of West Coast? And that's why we don't put it on a can, because it won't sell. So we'll call it a double IPA when it clearly isn't a double IPA vocation. You know that, I know that, and the people that know anything about beer know that that's not skirting towards a double IPA, but it isn't. So are we afraid of the words West Coast on a can in case they don't sell? I know the Buxton sheep wash thing, sheep shag, whatever it's called. I think that's West leaning as well, but that hasn't got West Coast IPA on it. That is a fucking great beer. So are we afraid? Are they afraid of putting West Coast on the can for fear it won't sell? It's an interesting one because it's not the first time that they've done that. There's a beer from Mad Squirrel called, was it Roadkill? Roadkill was a West Coast IPA, but they've taken the West Coast off and just put IPA on it. And it's interesting. Are we at the stage, unless it says hazy, New England, anything like that, then it's not going to sell. So we take the words West Coast out of the ballpark completely. Interesting. But that is a West Coast IPA. It's not a double IPA, and it's actually very good. It's a very good. I'm not afraid of a 7.6% West Coast IPA, nor should you be. Unless you don't like a West Coast IPA. Balanced, sweet up front, tails off to that bitterness. You get the marmalade, you get the grapefruit, you get the pine, you get the bitterness. There's a nice sweet malt in there as well. I think that's very good indeed. I'd be interested to see people like Dean, who I know, like myself, likes a West Coast IPA. I'd be interested to see what he makes of this beer. I'm going to quite happily sit here and say I'm going to give it a massive thumbs up. I don't think I need to make a video apologising for that, because that is a very decent beer available in your Tesco now. So if you like a West Coast IPA that's just shy of 8%, that ain't a bad, that's not a bad style. No adjuncts, none of that shit, just well made and at a half decent price as well. If you've had an Incognito from VOCATION, let me know. If you haven't and you like the style, don't be put off by this double IPA bollocks. It's not, it's a Westie, and it's a very good one at that. I have spoken, that is how it is. So leave a comment in the comments box. Is there any other of the Tesco beers you'd like to see on the channel? If not, tell me to fuck off. Here's what it is. There's a subscribe button somewhere. There's a thumbs up, there's a thumbs down. That's entirely up to you which one you pick. Drink good beer.